All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bizarre World 2020 BCP Ska Edition right now. And I'm so excited right now. We are in Bizarre World, like I said, but we all need a little bit more ska in our lives. Luckily, I found one of the best ska bands on the planet in the local scene right now. Right now, I'm so excited. It's true. No, I'm so excited. These guys have played the likes of Skate and Surf. These guys have won multiple awards over the years, including Best Band Album for the Elephant Music Awards, multiple occasions. Guys, please welcome to the show, Josh, Becky, and Gary, your friendly neighborhood ska band, the Backyard Superheroes. What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up?
Bob, when we talked before this, I said the one thing I wanted you to mention was that I was nominated for Sexiest Man in Ska, and you didn't mention that, so I'm going to go.
Well, you nominate yourself. It doesn't count.
No, someone else nominated me, a mystery anonymous person. An anonymous.
Gary, you have your own section of questions here, man. I hear there's a wrestling gimmick. We'll get there, man. I got you, bro. No worries.
I got a picture of him getting punched in the face by a woman.
Oh,
that's just a daily occurrence. Called marriage, guys. But
yeah, guys, real quick, obviously, the world's a crazy place right now. How's everyone making out with this COVID situation? Everyone staying safe and all that? Everyone's family doing well?
Life could be worse.
Yeah. I'm making out a lot.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, guys, I talked to a lot of creatives, a lot of performers on the show, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of the local bands here. Do you guys kind of feel, you obviously put out the song recently. Did you guys kind of feel like that obligation to, want to do something creative or put something out? And again, there was like a little bit of a message in that song. Did you guys kind of feel that calling?
I would say that song was kind of me getting an idea and telling the band that, hey, we're recording this.
And then the rest of the band going, yo, we all have work and lives. Leave us alone.
I work from home, so it was really easy for me. But, I mean, this is the first time we ever did something that we didn't have an actual studio. Like, we all had to record ourselves, basically. Me and Bex made the rounds throughout the band. And we did an original mix by ourselves before we brought in our buddy Len over at Landmine Studios. And, overall, we're all missing the concerts. We're missing life. We're missing our friends. Some of us are missing Gary. Some of us aren't.
This is my favorite time to be in a band because we don't have to have band practice. We don't have to have shows.
You didn't come anyway.
And my instrument, but I could be like, yeah, I'm in a band. It's the perfect scenario.
So speaking of that whole situation with Gary and having to play his instrument, we actually found out about 5 years into the band that Gary has no idea how to play Chill Out, Dude, because he always just took the sax and ran into the crowd.
Yeah, our set closer for a long time, and I don't know how to play it. That's pretty sad.
You wrote that part.
It's true.
Yep.
Chill out, dude. Brilliant strategy there. You mentioned this a little bit, but talk about that recording process. Like, you said, obviously you guys weren't together. Did you guys end up like writing the song like virtually? Were you guys able to get together a little bit? Was it record the drums first, then bass, kind of like the usual process? How were you guys able to put that puzzle together?
So I guess I'll take this because I started it. Around 2 o'clock in the morning one night, I had the idea. No, I kind of came up with like a scratch track, and when I wrote this, I didn't even know if it was going to be a full band thing. I didn't know if we'd be able to do it and pull it off right. So it was just going to be a quick like acoustic solo thing, and I brought it to the band. We decided to make it this whole thing, and we actually invested. We bought interfaces, we bought mics, we bought all this stuff.
Wow.
Chiari did next to nothing on this whole thing. It was great. No, but so I started with it. I brought it over to Kyle, our drummer. He put down a basic drum line, electric kit, so it actually worked out really well. I laid down guitar. We had guitar and bass from the rest of the band, and then we got to the horns. And I'll let you guys. I might as well let Bex do it because she kind of started the process with the horn. It was a little different.
Yeah, horn writing for us is usually, the advantage that we have when we're all together is obviously we can say, hey, yeah, this works. Wait, no, you guys are playing the wrong thing. Or, it's way easier to collab face to face. But, I don't know. It's really strange because some songs will have an idea for like our alto range instruments. So like your trumpet and trombone. And then other times, we have the low end where it's just Gary and I, and we're like, all right, what can we make work? So in all honesty with this one, so I have recording equipment because I'm an audio person, always have
cool.
been. So yeah, in a past life. So it was one of those things where I was like, all right, you know what, let me just hook it up. Let me record a line on bass clarinet just as a scratch line. Let me send it to, to the rest of the horn players and then, and think, okay, does this work? What do you guys think? And then that ended up becoming the baritone saxophone line. So, I mean, fortunately, we all have pretty good ears in the band. So, it's one of those things where we pretty much just rolled with it and we just said, wait, does this work on top of this? It's like, yeah, sure, why not? We'll make it work.
And that's the coolest thing that came out of this is all the horns layered on top of each other. We didn't know what the horn line fully was going to sound like until we had everyone together. And I mean, Bex handled her recording. She got Gary. I brought in Brian, and then we brought in Aaron. We had no idea how this was all going to fit together and whether or not, everyone actually listened to it before going to the studio. And it was one of our best songs we put out.
It definitely required a lot of trust.
Yeah. Horn line, so
at least you played.
Maybe.
I was there. You played.
There's no proof.
He played ping pong. He jumped on a ladder.
Oh my god.
Played accordion.
I can already tell this is going to be a lot of fun. You guys talk about the horn section. Give me a little bit of that breakdown of that horn section. Is it Becky? Are you Barry? Are you tenor? And is it Gary alto? Is that kind of the breakdown? It's probably hard to build like a large ska band like this. I can think of a few other bands. Charles Leader and the Mischief that has like a horn section kind of revolving a little bit. So that I always like bands with like great horn sections. How did that kind of come about and kind of give me the breakdown of like the Barry, the tenor, and all that kind of stuff?
So I play baritone saxophone. Gary plays tenor saxophone. Both of us can play alto, but it's, I think you did record some songs, Gary, on the last album on alto, right? Yeah. So he owns one. I don't. We have Brian who plays trombone, and then we have Aaron who plays trumpet. But the way that the band has been even before I joined was just tenor saxophone, trombone, and trumpet. So it's been cool to grow a little bit. And I joined the band when Bruce, our old trumpet player, left the band. And I've been friends with Bruce for at least like the past 12 years now. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. One door closes, another opens. So, but yeah, it's cool. I play 11 instruments. So Show
off.
Wow, I drew a fire.
Just drop in that one.
I will break out the flute right now.
Instruments. Look at me. I'm Becky.
In all fairness, we've been through about 11 different horn players before we got to our current lineup anyway, so that makes sense.
Yeah, the horn players in our band is like
all of them.
It's like a marriage, right? So
a lot of divorce.
There's an analogy I'm going to make here right now. So Becky was friends with Bruce, and Bruce was like, you know what, I'm leaving this band. So Becky joined. It's like if Josh got divorced from his wife, and I'm like, I'm just going to marry your wife now. It's kind of like that. Is that analogy not working? Oh.
That's like the time you wrote a love song for my ex-girlfriend.
I know that. Been there, man. Been there. I know that's. But you guys kind of strike me as I'm a band kid, marching band, all that kind of stuff. You guys strike me as a lot of band kids.
What are you trying to say?
Totally.
I dig it. Like,
I was a band kid. I was a band kid and a theater kid. Like, if you want to paint a picture of who is a theater kid, that's me, and who's a band kid, that's me. Like, totally. And I was the guy. Actually, I was a guitar player for a long time, and we had a lot of guitar players in my school who were better than me. So I'm like, I'll just go back to playing horns. And then usually a ska band is a bunch of people who play guitar and bass and like, let's find some horn players. But me, I was like, the horn player's like, does anybody want to play in a ska band with me, please? And everyone's like, no, you don't want to do that. No, you don't want to do that. So I had to trick all my friends and be like, it's not a ska band. We'll just play ska music.
Yeah, we're definitely band kids, hands
except
down.
Matt.
I mean, except for Matt. Yeah, I mean, I did the whole band and drum corps experience. Drum corps was how I actually met Bruce. So he played trumpet. We were 16 marching like an all-age drum corps with like a bunch of like old, crusty, like 40-year-old guys. It was a little weird. Yeah, Gary's face says it all.
I never did drum corps, but that sounds exciting.
Band history, failed band.
You failed band?
Yeah. Now look at me.
Wait, you've never heard this story, Gary?
I know. I didn't know you failed band, dude. That's like failing gym.
Honestly, I probably would have failed gym too. But no.
All you have to do is dress, man. You just got to change in front of people. That's all you got to do to pass gym.
My junior year, we to be in concert band, you had to be a marching band. To be a marching band, every day after school, you had to go to practice. I had a job, couldn't do it. I ended up failing band for about half the year.
I feel like that is something that should not be structured like that. It's really poorly. You can't force people to do extracurricular activities. Like, that's very strange. Yeah.
But that made me learn sax and trumpet, and it's probably what got me into
Well, you could go tell your band teacher now. You play in the
look me down, listen to me.
That's being interviewed on a podcast.
In all fairness, our marching band was real good. We actually, while we were marching in competitive marching band, we still had the music sheets on our instruments.
Oh, that's lame, bro. Real lame.
I loved being a band kid, though. That was so cool. I made so many friends, like lifelong friends. I've learned so many things. I teach a drum line now that I pass on to the kids. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
you know the deal.
I played cymbals and bass drum.
Oh, did you really?
Hell yeah, battery, what up?
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Can we address the elephant in the room?
My cat behind me?
No.
Oh.
There's an elephant, isn't there?
Talk about something. I'm going to get real close and whisper this. As band kids, we know that what happens on the band bus stays on that band bus.
Hand check.
Weird shit happened on that band bus. Let me tell you.
Oh boy.
Hand check.
Get your jacket off your legs.
Huh?
Oh boy.
Yeah, gross.
Well, where I came from, like, we just, like, again, I'm aging myself. We like sang songs and chanted stuff, but
yeah, we did that too. But...
Oh yeah, that Big Booty song. You guys remember that Big Booty song? Big booty, 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 big booty. I think that's how it went. Becky, I know you know that song.
I don't.
It's from band, marching band.
Marching band was always for us. My high school band experience was hanging out with the drumline kids. Yes. Even though I played woodwind at first, so I played clarinet my first year, tenor saxophone my second and third year. Then I marched drum corps in between my sophomore and junior years, and then after learning cymbals for drum corps, I was like, great, I'm gonna go play bass drum now. But I always really looked up to the drumline kids, which I probably shouldn't have in retro. Well, because they were cool, you know. But like they were also kind of shitty. But
darn drummers.
But, the drummers in my marching band were really cool. Yeah, they were the cool kids.
But like
we would just like we could just smash stuff.
Yeah, like we would just like I would sit, in the back of the bus with the band with the drum line, and like they'd have their drum pads out like like just chopping away. But they would always sing and play and like chop out to Bohemian Rhapsody, which I was like, what?
Becky went to the high school from the movie Drumline, apparently. Nick Cannon was there. Yeah, they were throwing drumsticks around.
Guys, cool. I'm from East Brunswick, not Old Bridge. That's Old Bridge High School.
Do they have a cool drumline?
Yeah, they really do.
I don't know. We had like one drummer. I was the only sax player in my marching band. It was bad, man. We had like 20 kids.
Chris Thatcher from Streetlights, which is Old Bridge High School.
That Gary has had in his drumline.
What's that now? Who?
More
Chris
backyard
Thatcher.
drummers.
You guys are both talking over yourself. Becky's saying that the drummer from Streetlight is the drum teacher at Old Bridge. Josh is saying that I should be the drummer in Backyard Superheroes. Okay, I am into that.
No.
Big booty, big booty, big booty. Big booty, big booty, big booty. I'm finding that shit on YouTube.
Master.
But I kind of want, not to be cliche here, but like I kind of want to hear like the origin story of the band. Like obviously, I've known some people that have been in and out of the band over the years. You guys have been a staple of the local scene for quite some time now. I always make the comparison: did a meteor hit the earth and the band was formed? Was there a toxic waste? No, but you guys are the backyard superheroes. So I'm very interested to hear about the origin story of the band and some of the, you don't have to get into the drama, but some of the different incarnations of filling these roles in the band.
Yeah, I'll leave this to the more tenured, the founding fathers of the band.
So I came from another ska punk band, Unbearable Slackers, where they wanted to go more on like the two-tone route, a little more, dancing. I wanted the more pop punk side. So I started to leave. I actually found a replacement for myself and then left. So I tried to do the cool thing. But then when I left, like half the band wanted to come over too for the pop punk stuff. So Mark, our drummer, Greg, our bassist, who's still our bassist, and my friend Matt wanted to start a band. So I'm like, all right, cool, we'll do it. And I ended up going to a Stone Pony showcase where Unbearable Slackers were playing, and I'm like, fuck, I really miss having horns. So I put up a posting online, and like, you know, an hour later, Gary messaged me.
That's where the story gets interesting, because everything before that was boring as shit.
So
Let me tell you about when the band got great, and that's when I joined.
We actually have a original recording before we had horns of Chill Out, Dude, and it's a really good thing we had horns because we were really bad. Mark made it one show, but as for original founding members that are still in the band, we still got me, Greg, Matt, and Gary, which is kind of weird for a ska band after 8 years.
And they were trying to come up with a band name, and I threw out a lot of really good ones because I'm awesome. But then they came up with Backyard Superheroes, and I said, guys, that's a really bad name. But guess what happened? That's still our band name. And they're like, we're going to be like the Aquabats. We're going to wear costumes, and we're going to do things. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the first show, we all wore costumes, and never since. Well, I always kind of wear shorts, but that's it.
But that's the other thing is Gary showed up. We all showed up in like, you know, costumes. Gary showed up in a child's Robin outfit.
Homemade. It was a homemade Robin costume. I wore.
That doesn't make it better.
It was cool. And that costume was badass. It doesn't fit me anymore, but it was badass.
It didn't fit you then.
Rob, I feel like you should put that graphic. It should float across the screen. Me in a little shorts.
Not Robin. Ever want to have viewers again.
Hey, I got nice legs. Let me tell
Listen,
you.
Backyard Superheroes was the original name, and then we left it and we came back to it. We had about a 2-week window where we were known as the Snowball Effect, and then we remembered that we've all seen Clerks.
That's not good.
And we decided that was a terrible name.
So that's what happens on marching band buses.
Yeah. Well, I dig the name. I think Backyard Superheroes is phenomenal, and you guys are great. You know, I'm from like the greater Asbury Park area, so I see a lot of the same. You know, I see a lot of bands that really have it. I see a lot of like regurgitation as far as bands, but you guys like really have always stood out to me like over the years. You guys just like having that ska sound. Do you guys? You know, I hate comparing bands to other bands because I feel like bands don't like them. But do you guys get like a lot of like you guys have horns, so you sound like this band, or is that a compliment? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
Scoochie from Hub City Stompers fame once compared us to Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and that is still the only thing I ever want to be compared to.
Scoochie is my saxophone idol in life, but we get compared a lot to like Bachman Turner Overdrive. Electric Light Orchestra, Ted Nugent's early work. That's how I like to think of us as a band.
JT once made fun of us and said that we were basically less than Jake.
Well, I was waiting for you to say it. That's what that's why I didn't want to be like you guys, but you guys are great. Like you guys are on that level, I would say for sure. You guys have all that talent. And, you know, we talk about like not the rotating members, but, you know, over time, as this happens with every band I've ever been in, some ways harsher than others, like they've come to a sudden end or members leave or you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. You know, Becky, I feel like you add a lot to the band, you know, just kind of having that extra vocal, you know, even doing leads sometimes or those harmonies. I feel like sometimes bands just don't get the harmonies right. And that was another thing that stood out for me is like you get the harmonies very good. Talk a little bit about like, you know, matching up the vocals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's weird because like I've never played in a band before. This is my first like punk band. I've done plenty of open mics, you know, playing ukulele and, you know, chilling and just kind of I can hang, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm classically trained, so it's one of those things where for me, I'm like, okay, harmonies, cool, no problem, you know. And like the whole basis, I started a degree in music education. You know, so like I still took a little bit of between like the woodwind lessons and, you know, and wanting to learn a little bit more about, you know, everything pretty much and just still applying that as a punk, if you will, you know, in a band environment. But yeah, I mean, it's cool because I never envisioned myself like being in, you know, a ska punk band at any point. I mean, I've always wanted to be, but it's like, can I pull it off? You know? So
yeah,
but,
I always joke that like
cool. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like 13-year-old me would be freaking out at all the shit that we've accomplished.
Same.
And
definitely same.
I've said this to Bex in the past. I've said to Aaron and Kyle, but like every band, everyone goes through ups and downs, and how you make it out of it's a whole nother story. But Bruce leaving, Bruce added a lot to the band. He did all the harmonies. He did a lot of the jokes and stuff on stage when Gary was off stage. And it's big shoes to fill when you're coming from something like that to someone who realistically hasn't been in a band before. But Beck's adding the harmonies, adding the constant talking and all that stuff between the songs. And we brought Erin in on trumpet. She's phenomenal. And then we brought Kyle in, and Kyle's personality kind of just speaks for it. You can see him in the music video for most of all. That's how he is 99% of the time. He is the happiest, most positive person I think I've ever met. And it really it brings a whole new form of character to the band to have these differing personalities that realistically we've probably passed each other at shows year after year, multiple shows. I know, Bex and Brian were actually kind of fans of the band before joining, which is kind of fun. But overall, all the sounds that we've had, all the different members we've had, it all kind of contributed to the sound that we finally figured out as ours. And I'm loving how it is now. We had Aaron do some harmonies as well on our Christmas EP. And, Kyle's super talented. He's brought a ton of songs. And I'm looking forward to the next album if we're ever allowed to see each other again, because we have a bunch of stuff ready to go.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear. All right, so now's the part of the show where we knock all the other past members of the band. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
Oh, goody, let's go.
We don't want to do
roast.
No,
I love a roast.
No, Gary's not roasting anymore. Gary roasted me on stage on my birthday once.
It was good times. It got real dark. Got real dark, guys.
Fucked up real quick.
I think, how about instead of that, how about we take a listen to the new single? Guys, I really enjoyed it, how you guys put it together with all the different videos. Even though you guys were apart, you were still together. Oh, my heart just skipped the beat right there. It's really good. It's a great track. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to it. Most of All by Backyard Superheroes.
Good evening, America. This is Man on the Scene, Skip Tanaloo here. And tonight I have the dubious distinction to introduce a band that has been described as no better than the 7th best ska band in New Jersey. That's right, kids. Give it up for the Backyard Superheroes.
I miss the crowds, I miss the stage, I wanna scream it all the way. If truth be told, it's getting old, take it day by day. I miss the noise, I miss the drive, can't wait for this to end. Yeah, most of all, I miss my fucking friends. Inside my mind, I just say I'm doing fine. Step a toe across that line. So I'm just taking from the top. I've been drinking on the job, too messed up to call it off. can't wait for this to end. Yeah, most of all, I miss my fucking friends. I miss my fucking friends. I miss my fucking friends.
Skip, we up.
Oh, boy, wasn't that something with all the horns and the beards and the... Yeah, I didn't listen to it.
Most of all, I miss my fucking friends.
Yes. Oh my god. I mean, if we could do an acapella version, I'm down. All right, guys. That was most of all, guys. Like I said, I really dig the track. It's awesome. There was a Muppet appearance during that track. We'll talk about that later. Gary knows nothing about that. Guys, I want to talk a little bit about the writing process. I guess, Josh, I'll throw this to you first. I love asking these questions to artists. Now, I'm a drummer. I'm a little bit more mechanical, a little bit more rhythm section. Even though I play with a lot of passion and dynamics, it's usually very hard for me to, decode lyrics or get messages behind songs. Does your writing come from a lot of real life? Now, you guys are a fun band, very upbeat. Does it come from a lot of real life stuff, though? Does it come from, I've talked to artists that have like a fantasy land, or they have stuff that happens in dreams? Where does the writing come from?
So some songs have meaning. One of the first songs I wrote that we never play live, Small Fry. It's not a great song by any means, but it actually had like a lot of meaning. I had a friend when I was growing up who passed away, and we used to call him Small Fry. So it was about him. Chill Out Dude, I wrote while I was in a meeting, my first week on the job. In front of my CEO, I was sitting there pretending to take notes, but I was actually writing lyrics and looking at cars driving by. Stuff like Face It. It's all about, anyone who's ever worked in a job where they have to commute, that literally the entire song is about, I could be late today. That's fine. Working from home, I'm still late every day, by the way. Most of all, I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory. I just literally couldn't sleep one night, and I started like, man, I really just miss, people. I'm way too extroverted to be stuck sitting home. The most interaction I have is with video chats. But then there's other songs like Am I Cool Yet, which was kind of just a joke song that for some reason took off. Pop Punk Fairy Tale, the first time I wrote it, I came to practice, I had a whole chorus ready, and I said, Pop Punk Fairy Tale, and at once, all the horn players went, Pop Punk Fairy Tale, like little girls. And I scrapped the whole chorus. I was like, shit, if it worked for them, it'll work for anybody. We had songs like No Doubt, which literally, if you try listening to the lyrics in No Doubt and you find a meaning, you've got to be on something. I wrote that song. I'm pretty sure I wrote it. I wrote the last line in the last word in every line to rhyme, and then I built the song around it. That song literally means nothing.
Is that crazy?
I don't know how else to explain that.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, and some, I mean, I do a decent bit of the writing, but I mean, Gary's come up with a bunch of stuff. She's Gotta Go, Arcade Girl, that all came from Gary. Bex comes up with a bunch of stuff. Bruce has helped with horn lines. No, but as for like new members, it's a lot of kind of collaborating. A lot of times I'll bring an idea, a chorus to practice. We'll build a horn line around that, and then I'll be able to kind of figure out where I want to go with the rest of the song.
That's super interesting to me. And we did talk about like the recording process and the writing process just now a little bit, but like, how do you bring songs to the table? Is it, hey, I have these lyrics, let's come up with a riff? Or is it like, I have a riff and these lyrics? You were saying like Gary writes some stuff, Becky writes some stuff. Like, how does it all start? What's the starting point? Or is it different for every song?
Usually it's me. I'll send either a riff or lyrics. Sometimes both if I'm feeling, uppity. But usually it's me sending them stuff and be like, what do you guys think of this? And like 2 minutes later, they're like, hold on, I changed it. Here's a new version of it. And after about 10 minutes, they'll know that they could probably listen to the newest version, which is usually 4 or 5 it takes in. But yeah, it's usually one or the other. Sometimes if I have like an idea for lyrics, I'll send it to them. Just be like, do you guys have anything I could build off this with? Or do you have any ideas for, like, do you have any lyrics I could build off? Because, luckily with working from home, I have a bunch of guitars there, I have a keyboard, I have a drum kit. Now I have an interface. We can start doing some actual recordings. So it's very collaborative, kind of at all points.
That's cool. You guys have that band love, that chemistry. And you guys, I really, I reached out to Gary about this, but I love, obviously the sound, but the album art is fantastic. I think I reached out to the person who did it because I want to work with her for some of my projects coming up. Retro Game Stream, watch out. It's going to be awesome. Shameless promo. But more importantly, where did you guys kind of get the concepts? Was that all you, or you just send it to her? And talk a little bit about embracing what I love so much, kind of that nerd culture in a lot of your stuff.
So I don't know where the T-Rex came from, to be honest. I think we just needed a mascot, and we were like, how about a T-Rex? And we named him Jeff, just in case you ever have a trivia night. But the rest was all Gary, so I'll let him talk about it.
Yeah, I always think that like having actually has a T-Rex right there. Hello, T-Rex.
I got Jeff over here too.
Having like a band like mascot or logo is kind of a cool thing, and I don't know, I just like that really poppy comic book style. I think it fits our personalities, and usually I just come up with an idea. I'm like, oh, it'd look like if a T-Rex was eating me, or a T-Rex was driving a Vespa, or something like that. So that's kind of how the artwork comes. But it's really great artwork, and our friend Kat does, I'd say 90% of all the artwork that we've had. She does an awesome job, and it's really cool.
I have a bunch of her artwork all over my house too. She does personal stuff. Very good.
The T-Rex kind of looks like me, so it's weird. I'm like, oh, I'm a cartoon T-Rex now, so
Yeah, the T-Rex is absolutely you. There's no question about it.
Which makes it really weird for the Christmas album where it's Gary and a T-Rex putting up the star. I'm like,
yeah.
In my mind, there's a story. So I don't think I've ever told anybody this. There's a story of the T-Rex and me, right? So if you look at the album cover for one of our albums, Let's Get Dangerous, I'm about to be eaten by the T-Rex. I like to think that the T-Rex ate me, and then we became one. And so now that's why the T-Rex dresses like me and acts like me. And on the Christmas album, he, I guess, regurgitated me, and then we were celebrating Christmas together.
You're in pretty good shape after all that.
Yeah, I just made that up, but maybe that's, who knows? I always like bombastic artwork on albums. My favorite band is Kiss, and every one of their cool albums in like the 70s is like, there are fire and there's naked chicks and stuff. And I'm like, that'd be really cool if I was on fire and there was naked chicks. But we don't have that. Josh, everything is blurry that you're showing.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to.
Porn on
There you go. There, I just gotta put it up on my face.
There you go.
It looks like you're trying to show us porn because it's all blurry. Look at this. Look at these boobs.
I'll hide Gary. Does it work?
No.
I can't see. I don't know what's happening. I can't see Josh, but that's all right.
Hey, let me turn off this freaking blur effect.
He's trying to be cool. He's trying to be like, look, my camera has a blur on it.
No, I just had weird people behind me. I didn't want them to be on.
You had weird people?
Wow.
Well, there was the air conditioning repairman.
He had that bokeh effect
Yeah,
going on.
You should have invited them to the podcast and tell us what they thought about our band.
It was pretty cool. Anyway, this is what I was trying to show.
Did I get to tell you guys my T-Rex joke, by the way?
Go ahead.
You did not.
Please do.
Why couldn't the T-Rex reach the top shelf?
Why?
Not answering this one. I know the answer.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, it doesn't. Never. It doesn't really work. You're supposed to say.
That's why I'm
I say why.
Because he
I
has
don't know the
short
answer. Why?
arms.
Because he has short. No, because he's extinct and womp womp. All right. I don't have my drum set.
Womp, womp, womp.
I like that.
Anyway,
I like that.
I'll stick to the drums, guys. Try the veal.
Gary's
So
allowed to
let's
have
talk.
bad jokes now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk a little bit about you guys collaborating with a lot of other artists. I was going through the catalog of that, on YouTube and stuff like that, downloading the stuff from Bandcamp. Like, where did you guys get the ideas to do that? Or you guys just have a lot of musician friends? Is that something you make a priority?
I think we're lazy and we don't want to write full songs, so we find other people who can play on those songs. And they're like, hey, you have more talent than us. Come on our song and make it better.
Guys, do they want to write a bridge? No. I wonder if Lars is around.
Oh, yeah. Who's available that we can bribe into performing on our song with our charm? That guy? Okay.
Up north? Let's bring Dave. Let's see if he wants to rap on us.
Yeah, who's our friends that are better than us at things?
Stop.
Or if someone has a big name, we'll put them on something like Adam Birch from, the Toasters. He played trumpet on one of our songs for like a 30-second solo.
His name's not that big. It's only 9 letters.
What?
And you guys, I missed something. And you guys had someone from Big D and the Kids Table at one of your shows, right? Or come on stage?
Yeah,
Yeah, we play with Big D and the Kids Table a lot. So we've built a rapport with Dave McWayne, which is awesome. He likes to jump on stage during Knowledge. And
that was the first time we did that. We didn't know if it was actually going to happen. There's actually a story. We were playing Skate and Surf our 3rd year, I think. Yeah, that was when our stage had no power for the first half hour of the festival, and then they finally put us on. And we were hitting around a balloon, and Dave McWade said that he would do his best to get on stage with us for Knowledge. And about 5 seconds before the song, before the strumming started, he was running through the crowd to get on stage. And he looks at me and goes, "Now?" I was like, "Yeah, just jump up." And as he came up, the rest of the band didn't realize he was coming. So you see, if you actually watch our old trombone player, Lou, at one point in the song, you see him turn to either Gary or Bruce, and he just goes, "This is fucking awesome."
It's what cool. A moment. That's so cool. So this is where we get a little bit like real on the show. Like, a lot of bands keep it politically correct. A lot of bands are straight shooters. You guys, take it wherever you want.
Oh boy.
We gotta talk about that.
Oh boy.
Oh no. You don't have to name names. I mean, but honestly, take it wherever you want.
Let's see if we have to skip this section.
You see the word skip?
Well, here's the way. Let's say we're not in this COVID world right now, like hypothetically, and let's all hope and pray it's over soon and this thing's eradicated. But so let's pretend that's not part of the equation right now. Your guys' thoughts on essentially this Jersey local rock scene, some of the promotions, working with promoters, the pay to play, all that. I always like to get everyone's feedback on that. I know I have my own feelings on a lot of it. Take it away.
I'll go and then I'll let you guys talk.
Pay to play is kind of bullshit.
Oh man. Kinda.
Gary, go.
I was just gonna say, Jersey is a really good scene. There's like one really, really good band, and Backyard Superheroes. You might have heard of them. They're very, very good. And there's a bunch of bands that are really chumps, and they don't really, they suck. And you should just come see us. That's it. That's all I got. You guys talk about real things. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I even bought a shirt for the best ska band in New Jersey. It's a special edition.
Josh, talk about pay to play. Becky, Becky's the voice of reason sometimes in the band. When I go off the rails, Becky
reels
me
Which
back
scares
in.
me more than anything, because I've also seen Becky go off the rails.
Oh yeah, no, everybody's seen me go off the rails, because that's the thing. Like, I've got a fire. It's somewhere down there. But
you should put that fire out. You live in an apartment. That's dangerous.
I don't have a fire extinguisher.
That's also dangerous.
That's terrible.
You need to talk about that. You should have a fire extinguisher.
Becky's off the
rails. No, but I think we're really lucky, and there's a lot of grit in New Jersey, which, I mean, as you know, being local too, I mean, there's so much cool grit that it's like you don't understand unless you're from here. I feel like, like I have a lot of friends who are heavily involved in the Long Island music scene too, and it's not the same. It's like there's something missing. I don't know if it's like, the camaraderie that's different. I mean, and that's the thing too with music scenes, is that, a lot of scenes, everybody tries to work together. But I don't know, there's just something really unique about the New Jersey music scene, especially with the ska scene too. I mean, we have a lot of friends that we I mean, but that's the thing. Like, we always think about the bands who are like, okay, who would like to play this local show with us? And it's like, we've got a solid list of like 4 or 5 bands that, that we can always rely on to be like, yo, you want to come out and like, just have the awesome time. He goes out of the way. I mean, not even out of the way. They just don't exist, with the people that, that we're close with.
Yeah, it's not a competition for us.
It's not and like, we never want to make it a competition, because that just takes the fun out of it, So it's like, just have a good time, show up, support one another, buy each other's merch, even though we won't let anybody else pay for it. But like, like, that's the thing. Like, we just have a good time.
I don't know. We want to be the best at everything. No band could be better than us. That's my goal every day.
You can still be good and be humble and, and be friendly, because that's the thing. Like, nobody likes a standoffish band in the scene, especially about a scene that's centered around unity and acceptance, and just having fun. That takes the fun out of it. So, if anything, like, not that there ever needed to be a catalyst, but like, I feel like we personify that pretty well, and we hope to, to radiate that and let that shine.
Especially in the ska scene, there's like I don't know, it's this weird gatekeeper mentality sometimes, where it's like, if you don't play the type of ska that we like, you're not cool. or if
you're not ska,
or you play 90s type of ska, you're not cool. Or, you're not in our clique, you're not cool. It's so weird for such a small, like, insignificant part of the music scene that 99% of the population of the world probably doesn't even know exists. It's very, like, bitey. There's a lot of biting.
We've been helping, not helping.
We just want to be a union of friends. That's all we want to be. We are a union of bands.
No, we've, for years, we've been going on about 8 years now. We've seen a lot of ska bands come and go, a lot of bands in general come and go. We used to throw our own shows. I think we broke Gary. We used to, like, for example, our friend Keith had a huge backyard in Howell. We used to run something, we called it the backyard camp out because it was literally in his backyard. We decided it would be cool if people camped out and we had music. So the first one we did, it was just kind of like a 2-day thing. And it kind of like, we only did 3 ever. And by the second one, we had 24 bands. Bands were coming from all over the country. We had bands that were coming down from New Hampshire, some that, came up from like the Carolinas or Georgia. Some that weren't even playing. They were just coming to see this event. And it was like a local Woodstock. Like, there was a lot of drugs probably. Probably.
Or it was like Local Legends, but Monmouth County edition.
With Local Legends without the permits. None of this is
legal. Like Woodstock '99. We were like the Limp Bizkit of it.
And no one was there.
Woodstock. Oh, it's like the ska pun, Woodstock.
That's why we don't let Gary come up with names anymore.
Woodstock. Very bitey.
Canceling.
I'm very bitey.
There's so many bands out there that like we absolutely love. We always joke, Joker's Republic is one of our favorite bands that we, bring on any show we can with us. They're like our little brother band,
That's legitimately what they are too with all of us. I mean, Austin is, he's done a really awesome job of, preserving the scene and really just keeping the scene a positive, cool place. Him and his dad do a lot for New Jersey ska. So, so he's pretty much like a little brother, to a lot of us, which is cool. I don't have brothers. I don't know what that's like.
He actually is my little brother. I'm revealing that right now.
Is he? I have so many questions.
How does that work?
I feel like I need to share this information with you guys. We are a union of friends here, and I need to share that information.
It's interesting though. I think Becky.
Bob is trying to reel it in.
Hey man, I'm the straight man. I gotta keep it flowing, man. But no, I really do appreciate what you guys said. Like, I think Becky knocked it absolutely out of the park. Like with what you said, about like I've actually had bands from Long Island come on and say like they love playing down here. Where as I talk to artists down here and they're like it's oversaturated. So you gotta kind of look at it from both perspectives, And right now, I think we know better than anyone. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Especially these past 3 months, everything going on with COVID right now. So it's super crazy. And Gary, you used the word click, like clicky. I mean, we see that a lot in this scene, and it's unfortunate. I think we all need to kind of stick together and help each other. That's what we do here on the podcast. I've made so many connections and friends and sponsorships, and it's all just from working together. The photographers, the promoters, the bands, like everyone look out for each other. And if you are a promoter, don't take advantage of these young kids bands. That's what I don't like. When I was 16 and I started playing in bands, it was so we go play at an Asbury venue and everyone would all go because that's what you were doing on that Friday night, and then everyone would all get pizza afterwards. It's a different time now, but just
I know what you talk about. I grew up in that scene too, and it's not really like that, unfortunately. Sometimes, especially with us, when we first started playing shows, it was a lot of like, maybe my grandma wants to come. Hey, grandma, you want to buy 3 tickets for this show where we're playing on a Sunday afternoon with nobody?
My family hasn't come to their first show.
Yeah, I think my parents saw me once. It might have been like our second show, but it was a lot of that. Like, maybe if we buy 20 tickets, then we only have to sell 5 tickets ourselves. So that's not bad. And that's just a crappy way to do business, right? It's just
we never actually did the whole pay to play thing. The only show per year that we ever sell tickets that like we have to sell a minimum to play is Starland, and that's because first off they've been very good to us over years, and second off we've never left there without making a lot of money. Yes, we've had our set cut, but usually it's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it's cool to be invited back for something like that. Yeah, selling tickets sucks, but I mean last year they wanted to sell 100 tickets. We sold 100 tickets in 4 days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the crew at Starland. Yeah, the crew at
right.
Starland is always really good to us. They work really, really hard, to put on the good shows, and and the girls behind the scenes there are freaking awesome.
Shout out Maria Moore.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know their names?
Between Maria, Nina, who else? Aaron. It was really cool. I went to go pick up our second batch of tickets for the last Thanksgiving because, as Josh mentioned, we sold 100 in like 4 days. Which was awesome. Yeah. Well, they were like, because we were like, oh, like, can we get more tickets? And they're like, we have to check with band management. So I think they had to check with Goldfinger's crew to be like, hey, can you, are we fine with releasing more tickets? Fortunately, they allowed us to get like the extra 50 tickets or whatever it was.
Oh, we sold 250 in the end.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. But that's the thing, proof that, they were just going so fast that it was like, holy shnikes, like. But I went there because that's my hometown. That's my hometown venue. Growing up like 10 minutes from there.
We all grew up around
even after I moved, I still live like 10 minutes from there. So it's it's one of those things where it's like I was hanging out in like the kitchen, in the laundry area where like Taking Back Sunday does their laundry every single year, like But just talking and hanging out with everybody, I'm like, you guys are awesome, I think there's a lot of criticism because of the fact that they are, they're an access venue, they're part of the Bowery family of venues, but like they embrace like the hometown culture a lot, which is really, really cool. There's a lot of heart and soul in that venue.
I want to shout out, Bob, you might know their names. The security guards are always super cool to us.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's my favorite person.
I think if we could pat ourselves on the back for a little bit, it says a lot to us that guy's heard probably 10,000 shitty bands in his life, and he always shouts us out, or it's like, hey, good to see you, and it's like, I can't wait till you guys play. And he protects my life a lot. He's always picking me up from the chair or dragging me out of the
after you break bones.
So it's rad, and like Becky said, that's a venue we grew up going to, and I was like, man, one day I want to play there. And now we played there like 20 times, and I'm like, they're in a ballroom. Yeah, I'll show up right before 10 times. I'm in it. But it is really cool. It's for Jersey people. That's just like that's the mecca. More so almost than the Stone Pony, I would say. I don't know why I feel that way.
These days, I agree. Just because we've played the Stone Pony dozens of times at this point, and we've had mixed reactions. We've always had good crowds there. The staff there overall are great, but we've had situations where they'll ask us to play a show on a Monday. For like the show is that coming Saturday. They're like, we need you to sell 50 tickets. We're not going to give you free parking, and if you don't sell, you're not playing. I'm like, why would we take that?
Yeah.
So like, it's just tough. There's some good venues out there that'll work with musicians. I love places like the Brighton Bar. We've definitely set up a lot of shows there. House of Independence, one of my new favorite places.
That's a rad venue, man. That's a rad venue.
All the time for these massive shows that. Frankly, if I go back to 13-year-old me, we don't deserve this shit. I don't know how we got this far. I know we worked our asses off. We're relatively good at networking. We pretend that we like people, even Gary, and it's gotten us this far. But like, it's still weird to think like there's bands that want to open for us, and that's a weird concept to me. Because like, I don't even want to listen to us.
There's a band that we play with a lot, and I'm not going to say who they are, but they came up to me one day at a show and they said, hey man, you really influenced us. We grew up listening to you. And I'm like, that's the weirdest shit anyone has ever said to me in my life. Like, you grew up listening to my band? Like,
how old are you?
Yeah, like, what? That is weird, but it was cool. It was a really cool compliment. And that band is the Gaslight Anthem. It's pretty cool. They're gonna make it.
They used to tour Bouncing Souls. It was great.
Yeah, it was really, really neat, and I was stoked to. I was like, Brian, yeah, man, like anytime you want any pointers, I got you.
No, but there's so many local bands out there. I mean, just throwing out one more, just because I literally was talking to them earlier this week. But all the guys and Casey and the Schwam, their tie-dye shirts. We always joke that me and Brandon are basically the same person. He just wears more tie-dye than I do, and he's a better guitarist and singer and overall person. So it's close. But I love those guys. Like the whole music scene, I Defy Fat Chance, even folks like Public Serpents that even if we don't have the same style of music as them, we will be on shows together for the the foreseeable future until we're not doing shows anymore. Because
It's,
we're loyal. It's a scene.
Jersey too, man. There's just there is, like I talked about, clicky. I think that's still a minority of the ska scene. There's a lot of really good ska bands that support each other. We're big fans and friends with some of the California bands. I love the band Half Past Two. It's my favorite band on the planet. There's a lot of bands like out of Philly, Catbite, who's really good. We Are the Union, Kill Lincoln. Those guys are always doing good stuff. And then what's my other favorite band? Hooray for Our Side from
Fight Me Bambi.
Fight Me Bambi. Yeah, there's so many good, and I could. Those are just the ones that people might know. I could name like 1,000 bands in the country, or just like.
And they've all been on the What Do You Know About Ska Punk compilation CDs.
Truth.
You could find some of the best, local music just by going and listening to those. I mean, I had the first CD when it first came out. There was like 80 bands. I probably listened to that thing on repeat for like 2 summers in a row.
You know what, like, is the best place too to find really like just good ska music is on Bandcamp. Like when I first discovered Bandcamp, maybe like 10 years ago, I just found the ska hashtag and just would download literally everything on there. And you just find so many awesome bands on there, and you just research them. I have this weird thing that I do every night where I just search the word ska on iTunes, and whatever comes up, I'm like, add in that. Literally, my Apple Music is just bands that are just called the Skatachewoons or the ska, the Ascots, and it's a man, I love it. Yeah, Beanie Up Scotty, like really bad ska puns. I'm like, this is my life right now. I love it.
I love it.
Saskatchewan?
I mean, they're.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have our own group chat. We have our own group chat, and like 90% of the time, it'll be quiet, and then you'll just be like, "Yo, guys, you gotta check out this band." And it's just like it could be a band from like 15 years ago that put out one song, and it was a really good song.
Yo, no lie, go find the American Pie soundtrack and find the band The Loose Nuts and the song called Wishin', Wishen, by The Loose Nuts. That's top 5 ska songs ever written. Dude, do it. Bob, if you don't do it, I'm going to message you later. I'm going to be like, you listen to the song? It's on the American Pie soundtrack. Do it.
If it's fine.
Bro, I have the American Pie 2 soundtrack, I believe. I think I have that one. I don't have the first one.
That was the one that had the Sum 41 was on there, right? Or was that the first?
The Blink song opened the movie, I think.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah.
I remember.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. But yeah, guys. So I will check that out. Remind me, Gary. I totally will. Real quick, are you guys all New Jersey born and raised?
Raised.
Yeah.
Here's this is why everyone tuned in. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you can totally pass on this one. Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Pork roll.
Pork roll.
Yeah, pork roll, totally.
We're not
I was literally gonna kick you guys off. If anyone said Taylor ham, I was just gonna no. I'm just.
We have a joke about that on our Christmas album. We have a joke about that, actually.
We did,
Really?
yeah, and a lot of people didn't understand it. Yeah, if you listen to the intro to Coal in My Stocking from the Christmas EP, Gary and I have a little exchange about that. And I remember, I think it was like one of the first reviews of the Christmas EP. The person who wrote the review, I don't know if he's from Colorado or the Midwest, but he was like, yeah, I don't really understand.
He's like, it takes up a good portion of the song for a joke that anyone outside of Jersey won't get. I was like, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah. Niche joke.
That really must have eaten into you if you remember that.
It's true. What's the name of the track again?
Coal in My Stocking from the Christmas EP.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll download it.
Real quick.
I'll download it just for the pork roll reference. But that's awesome. Also, if you guys do put out a new album or new music, I do reviews. Shameless promo on thepopbreak.com, senior editor. I love supporting you guys. So send the new music my way. Also, I love getting the music early, just saying. So, send some stuff my way for sure. More importantly, though, than pork roll, guys, I think New Jersey, New York, and some parts of Chicago have the best pizza in the world. Everywhere else, not so great. Although I hear New Haven has very good pizza. Never tried it. Best pizza spot in New Jersey.
Okay,
Anything at the
let's
shore.
see.
I feel like we need a while for this. Everyone gets their time, okay?
Okay, so I'll give you 3 of my favorites. My top 3. So growing up in East Brunswick, I really loved Frank's Pizza in the Mid-State Mall by the Best Buy. I live right off of exit 120 off the Parkway now, so my 2 go-tos are DiBari's and Corbo and Sons at the Bellworks complex. I also work in Bellworks. So, I mean, rest in peace having an office right now. But the pizza day every Thursday at my job, just so good.
Really? Okay, I've never tried those places. I'm going to have to make a list, though. I love it. All right, how about you, gentlemen? Okay.
Jack, you want to go? I'll go last.
All right.
I have a lot to say about pizza.
I just like pizza, so I'm pretty easy. That being said, we did play a pizza beer party once in Pennsylvania that made me never want to go back to Pennsylvania. Tomato pie is not a fucking.
Yo, what is that? That's just sauce on bread. That ain't good.
It wasn't sauce. It was tomato paste on uncooked bread. It was disgusting. Anyway, my wife's still mad at me for that. But no, I live down by like exit 80, so the Toms River area. I'm near Point. I'm near Seaside. I can eat pizza at any shore along that whole section, and I'll be happy. I think New Jersey has better pizza than New York. I like Chicago's thin crust. I did not like their deep dish. I think it's like eating cake.
I agree.
We did play in
Lombard,
Illinois. Yeah, it's gross. It's like it's too much. I want to be able to eat multiple slices. But no, we played at a place when we went on our second tour in Lombard, Illinois, and they gave us thin crust pizza, and that was the first time I had like real non-Domino's thin crust pizza, and it was awesome. It was like eating crackers, but it was really good. But nah, it's Jersey.
Let me talk about pizza real quick. All right, first of all, Chicago's good for one thing, and it's hot dogs, and that's it. Chicago pizza sucks, but their hot dogs are excellent.
We went on the bike tour. We ate the hot dogs.
Yeah, we took a bike tour in Chicago, and I ate like 18 hot dogs in an hour. That's like
before we played a show.
It was good times. Here's the top 5 pizza places in New Jersey.
Oh, we also did it for skydiving.
Top 5 pizza places. Now, coming at number 5 is a place that I've recently discovered near my job called Cranberry Pizza in Cranberry, New Jersey. It burned down over the weekend, so that sucks.
Oh, no.
But anyway, Cranberry Pizza, it's excellent. Number 4, with a bullet, Demola's Pizza in the town I grew up in. Very, very good in North Plainfield, New Jersey. I really like it, but that's because it's my hometown pizza, you know? Number 3, I don't have a number 3. Number 2, I also don't have a number 2. But I do. Yes, a number 2 is Federici's in Freehold. Their pizza is excellent. Very thin crust.
I hear that a lot. I get that one a lot. Okay.
I live in Freehold now, and it's awesome. Okay, before I reveal my number 1 choice, I'm going to tell you the worst pizza I've ever eaten.
Tomato pie?
It was at Pete and Elda's when we did the Pete and Elda's pizza eating contest. Josh was there. And I don't want to say it was the worst. That's actually wrong to say. It was wickedly overrated pizza. Like, I'm like, no, this is not good.
Wow.
And I did the pizza challenge. I ate the whole pizza. Josh was there. He watched me do it.
There's an asterisk there at the end.
There was one piece of crust that I didn't eat, okay? Suck it. But the number 1 pizza place in the entire state of New Jersey is in Little Falls, New Jersey, which is up in the northern section of New Jersey. I used to work in Totowa. And I don't remember what the name of this place is. That's because it's good. Good places don't need names. They're just like, yo, we're pizza. You know what we are. Here's how you know it's good. I prepared the speech. 1, they're not open on weekends. 2, they only accept cash. 3, they don't deliver. 4, they close at 6 p.m. 5, you can only buy a pie. You can't buy a slice. You can't buy a fucking calzone. They don't got garlic knots. They have pies of pizza. That's it. They go cheese, sauce, cheese, sauce. That's what they do. I don't know what it's called. It's called the fucking pizza place in Little Falls. It might not even exist. It might only exist in my mind. It's the greatest pizza that's ever existed.
Dream.
Also, I had a really good slice of pizza in Brooklyn. What's the famous Brooklyn pizzeria?
L&D's.
Yes, L&D's. That actually is legitimately probably the best pizza I've ever eaten. But we're talking about New Jersey, so.
Well, hold on. So real quick before we move on, when we were on tour we were in Detroit when we passed 8 Mile, and Gary decided to stick his head out the window and scream, "Mom's spaghetti." And we had a show on, I thought we were going to die, but we had a show on 10 Mile. And we get out, and we looked at Google Maps. There were 2 food places within a mile walk. We didn't want to go more than a mile because we were on 10 Mile. So our choices were McDonald's or this little place. It was right next to the venue. It just said Thai food, and it looked like an old woman's kitchen in the middle of Detroit. We're like, well, we have a show to play tonight. We probably shouldn't eat either of these things. But Thai food's probably the better option. We go into this place. I swear to God, to this day, that was the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
Wow.
I don't know if it still exists. I think we might have walked into an old woman's house because that's what it looked like. But that was, oh my God, it was so good. But again,
awesome.
it's that whole doesn't really have a name thing.
Top 5 places we ate on tour. Okay, number 5.
All of it is Steak and Shake and Waffle House.
It's all tacos.
Steak
It's
and Shake.
all tacos we ate at people's houses.
Oh yeah.
Love it. It's awesome. Gary, that's like down by where I live, man. So I would go with Vic's and Bradley Beach. Like the argument here is or Vic's, and a lot of people swear by Pete and Elvis. I like Pete and Elvis. It's very good. I like the people there, so that's like sacrilege. Like
the environment's cool. The free T-shirt they gave me is really comfortable. It's huge on me, and the pizza would probably be good in like a small setting. But when you're eating a gigantic pizza, it is gross.
Double XL.
See, you guys were eating pizza, and I was hanging out with Erin making sweet potato tacos. Yeah.
Nice.
Potato tacos?
Oh, it was crazy. Sweet potato tacos? Oh my God, the best.
We like food, dude. I don't know if you know.
We love food.
We're like, the perfect setting for this band would be if like a Food Network show was like, you want to do ska music for the bumpers before we go to commercial?
We played a Taco Fest.
Oh yeah, no, the Taco Fest though, I don't know. I think New Jersey Taco Fest is like our favorite show of the year, every single year except for this year. It's tacos, beer, and wrestling and ska. And there's a new metal band. There's a new metal band called Defending Kane. They're from Western Virginia, not to be confused with West Virginia. They're really awesome. They love us. A bunch of these metal guys that sound like Disturbed and Amir combined. And they're like, we love ska. And we're like, wait, really? You like ska?
Afterwards, ACDC.
Oh my God.
And then there's ACDC cover band. It's the best show of the year we play every year. It's Taco Fest.
Where is that at?
I don't know, North Jersey,
like up by
Sussex County
Andover.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
we've said even if the band breaks up, we're gonna get together every year just to play
that show
because like it's so rad.
Steve Seabury's the owner there. He's awesome, and he's always very good to us. And that's how I found out about Talkaholics, which is now about a 10-minute drive from my house, and I have it every Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Nice. You guys send me some links to that. Wrestling and tacos and ska. I'm in. Like totally.
Right.
That's
like,
what we're
the
saying.
best day ever.
And I'm a photographer on the side, so like taking action photos of the wrestling. I could leave the band to go on stage, and I'll go hang out with the wrestling for a while.
That's okay. We're big wrestling show over here too. And Gary, I did promise you this spotlight. So tell us a little bit about your secret identity wrestling persona.
Yeah, I was a wrestler. Next question.
Really?
I feel like we need to do a wrestling centric podcast, but yes, I worked for a couple wrestling companies, doing color commentary and some in-ring work as a manager. Yeah. I had my own wrestling podcast, and then I actually wrestled one match in my hometown in North Plainfield, and I was.
We all came to see him.
Yeah, everyone came to see me, and it was like a battle royal type of thing. And I talked so much smack because I was like, I'm too good for this town. I left this town. Your character, sure. And then I was about to come into the ring, and I got beat up by the company's women's champion because she was upset that I was in the match and she wasn't. And we were backstage, and she's like, "Have you ever been punched before?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, not really." So she gave me a working punch, and that shit hurt. Let me tell you, that shit did not feel good. And then she kicked my ass for a while, and it was super fun.
I got video and photo.
Wrestlers are not a force to reckon with.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really good time.
Living the dream,
I have that
bro.
perfect shot of him getting hit in the face and the spit coming out of his mouth.
Oh my God.
And his whole face just
like punching out.
I would have pursued it more, but my wife was like, "We're getting married this year, and I can't have you getting hurt before our wedding." That's what we're talking.
Again.
We call it transition right there.
That worked out well.
So anyway, I got hurt before our wedding. That's your next question.
No, not at all, guys. And real quick, obviously with everything going on in the world, we miss those shows. I personally really do feel like that first time back on stage, that first crash cymbal that I hit, man, I think it's just going to be that much better. I hope the crowds come back. I really think just everyone's going to try to get out. I think there's going to be like this revival for the music scene. I really do believe that. Do you guys kind of have any thoughts or anything that you guys want to say to the fans for when you come back?
Don't cough on us.
Y'all.
What?
Sorry, no.
Don't wear a mask. Don't cough on us.
Buy our merch because we are broke.
Yeah, I mean, so it's definitely, we're excited to see everybody whenever it's safe to. I think a lot of us are hoping for more outdoor shows. Honestly, I would so be down with like a beach bash, like multi-genre, like outdoor show. What's that?
We were made for outdoor festival show time. I mean, we're a ska band. We belong in the summer.
That's the thing. Like, if we can have like East Coast back to the beach, like how cool would that be? Because that's always a sick lineup every single year. But yeah, I mean, we're excited. We just hope that everybody's staying safe so they can see us whenever our return may be. But in the meantime, we just hope that everybody is supporting their bands whatever way they can. I know my merch buying has been like skyrocketing since the lockdown started to make up for all the shows that I haven't been going to. So this is the part where I plug our merch. Backyardsuperheroes.com is new and revamped, and we have our merch. So please buy it. It's all over my house. It's all over my living room. So, and every penny goes to the band. So, I mean, we don't do this for a career. We just do this for fun. But, for anybody that wants to see, it pays for recording, pays for CDs, it pays for new stuff in the future, shirts, pins, magnets, beer koozies,
beach balls,
beach balls, backyard superhero sunglasses, the
but
possibilities are endless.
It's been really cool though, because we've all kind of been thrown into this whole COVID thing and quarantine. We put out the single and we're already talking about like what can we do next, because we all miss playing. Now that we figured out the basic recording aspects and realized that we can actually kind of pull this shit off pretty well. We want to continue on that. A lot of us are working with other, local bands, not even just from around us, but like independent bands from around the country, doing collaborations, and it's honestly like the perfect time for networking. We're playing with some of the coolest people. There's a group of people. I'm not going to plug it, but it's cool. Like we have people from bands like that have played with the Specials. We have people that have played with Rancid or the Interrupters, playing with this little no-name guy who had a song idea 3 years ago but didn't have a band and just needed to put it together. And it's not like session musicians where it's like, all right, you have to pay $1,000 an hour for me to play on this. Yeah. It's more of like, I want to be a part of this. And it's really cool because you can tell like a lot of people just miss being a part of a band or being a part of a group that interacts. And we spoke earlier about how the horns, we have a 4-person horn section and we built it while we were recording it. Like there's no way you can have a 4-person band practice without being near each other to write this stuff out. So it's a lot of trust and a lot of building off other people's ideas. And it's like, it's a whole new age of music at this point, because we're doing collaborations with people from around the world. And it's, I'll write a guitar part, I'll send it to someone on the other side of the country, they'll send it to someone else, and by the time it gets back to me, it's a full song. It's really cool. It
just evolves.
Wow, I mean, we just finished a 34-person cover of Fat Lip by Sum 41 with 29 singers on it. Yeah. And it's in mixing now, and we're doing a video for it. And I don't know why I thought it was a good idea when I started it, but it's probably one of the coolest things. Honestly, it was boredom, but it's turned into one of the coolest things I've done. And I'm loving it, and it's just kind of paved the way for the next steps. And we're gonna be doing some more stuff in the future. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about anything anytime soon.
Keep it a secret.
Yeah, I like
collaborating with Taylor Swift. Look, there, I fucking spilled it.
I like to pretend like Gary and Bex are my parents or my bosses. Like I try not to do any of these things anymore. I usually just let them talk and I sit off to the side.
Well, tag me in that Sum 41 thing. That sounds like, mystery appear. It's happening.
Wait, is that my efficient for my wedding? That's another quarantine. I got married. We were supposed to have our reception. It got pushed till next year. So Gary was actually the officiant for our wedding, and Muppet Gary showed up.
Yes, that's awesome. That's a different interview. I can't wait for that one. Guys, thank you again for a few minutes. Real quick, shameless promo time. We did talk about the merch and the website. Where can everyone follow you guys on social media?
So I run the Twitter. So if anyone still uses Twitter, if any of y'all want to see my my rants, I go rampant on there. So we're on Twitter as Backyard Superheroes is too many characters. Facebook, Backyard Superheroes. The three of us run that equally. Instagram, Backyard Superheroes.
Make sure you're not doing Backyard Heroes. They're friends of ours, but they're a different band. There's also the Backyard Superheroes. That's not us. We will fight them and hurt them. No, they broke up like 6 years ago, and they were only a band for like a month until I told them to stop. But anyway, continue.
Our lawyers had to get involved in that one.
Saying I was in Unbearable Slackers and the same genre as the Slackers, one of the biggest ska bands of all time. Yeah, bad ideas.
Our lawyer, the band lawyers.
It's Gary.
Have one of. So we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like I mentioned before, our website backyardsuperheroes.com takes you right to the merch site. So if you want to buy a shirt, if you want to buy, a phone pop-out holder that goes on the back of your phone, a sticky thing, like what Gary has and like what Josh has, you freaking nerds. Not like I can talk. Mine is a pedal. Mine's a dispatch master.
Cool.
But yeah, we're also on Bandcamp too. Isn't Bandcamp donating more proceeds of their sales anytime soon? Did I miss that, or am I hallucinating? Or
yeah, I think that's Friday. Oh, July 3rd.
This Friday? July 3rd. Oh yeah, the first Friday of every single month, Bandcamp is donating all proceeds from any music sales. Actually, no, they're allowing all artists to have.
No, they're waiving fees.
They're waiving fees, so artists can have their full share of the profits. That's what it was.
Yeah, what we've been doing is, we came out with most of all, and we all have full-time jobs. So we're not worried about the money, and with everything kind of going on in the world and everything being on fire, we figured it would be a better idea to kind of use our voice and our recognition for all like $6 we probably made on this thing. But anything that we got through Bandcamp, we donated to, I think it was the Philadelphia Bail Fund.
Yep. Yeah, we donated to Philly Bail Fund. We've donated to ACLU.
Yeah.
So we're trying to change it up a little bit. We just want to use our platform for good. At the end of the day, we're all people that just want to do the right thing, for other people that don't have the opportunity to. So, we're always happy to donate. Well, yeah, I mean, in times like these, we just need to stand up for what's right, because there are a lot of people who aren't. So,
And we're not a political band, but this is not politics.
We're not political, but yeah, this isn't. The things going on right now are not political. It's treating everybody the same. And, if people can't do that, we got to fix that. And we got to do what we can to, to kind of do our part and make up for it. So,
Yeah.
We
all got to use our platform. Yeah, very well said. Like, we never really get political on this show, but, the way this year's been, got to have discussions. We got to face things heads on. We got to use our platforms for charity and good causes and all that kind of stuff. And everyone, let's just be nice to each other. Let's get each other's back. We're going through a lot right now. Let's be on the same team here.
Scott's all about unity.
Yeah, there it is. Perfectly said. I think that's a great note to end it on. Guys, thank you so much for a few minutes. This was a pleasure. We are gonna listen to a little tunage getting out of here. We're listening to the track The Weekend. Real quick before we get out of here, tell me a little bit about that track.
So The Weekend, I'm trying to remember. I think it started almost as like a sex joke at one point, because I'm making plans for the weekend. And then for the bridge, it was all about like I'm staying in bed for the weekend. And it's like I'm gonna. Yeah, it was a bad joke, but I mean, it was the whole idea of, it was kind of the next iteration of Netflix and chill. It's, going through the whole work week and just kind of staring at the clock, waiting for it to, for the time to go home. And then you finally get to the weekend and you don't actually do anything.
I gotcha. Cool. Well, I'm excited to listen to it. You guys are awesome. When the shows are back and kicking, I hope to be seeing you guys again soon. Can't wait. And if you guys got some new music, throw it my way. And everybody, just be nice to each other, get each other's back. Eat tacos and listen to ska. We are out. Peace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I'm making plans for the weekend. Wonder what's in store. I'm making plans for the weekend. Leaves me wanting more. I'm making
That's what it's all about. Only Monday and I'm racking my brain. By Tuesday I've lost my place. Got to hump day but I'm going to say 2 more days never seem so far away. Cause now I know when I get out I got a place to be. Gotta go 2 more hours till they set me free. I'm making plans for the weekend. Wonder what's in store. Making plans for the weekend. Always keeps me wanting more. Making plans for the weekend. Gonna let it all hang out. Making plans for the weekend. That's what it's all about. It's finally the end of the week. The end of productivity. And so I sit, counting down the hours left to kill. Holy shit, I watch the clock, the time is standing still. I'm making plans for the weekend. Wonder what's in store. Making plans for the weekend. Always keeps me wanting more. Making plans for the weekend. Gonna let it all hang out. Making plans for the weekend. That's what it's all about. Wake up in the morning, grab my shit, I'm out the door. Push me flying down the highway with my pedal to the floor. Running late for work again when I'm staring at the clock in the second hand. Thinking to stop, but I don't know when this constant nightmare's gonna end. There's a big white light breaking through the cloud. It's a Friday afternoon, twist it up and burn it down. I'll be crack a couple brews and get lost up in the sound. I'm making plans for the weekend, and you know what I'm about. No plans for the weekend, gonna stay at home instead. Got no plans for the weekend, gonna spend it in my bed. I'm making plans for the weekend, gonna let it all hang out. Making plans for the weekend. That's what it's all about.